The Kurchatov Institute was once visited by a foreign delegation of high-ranking guests. The Kurchatov Institute is the Atomic Institute. Some people say that we don't have atomic bombs there. Well, only a degenerate mind could come up with that. Only someone like that could invent such a thing, and then go around telling everyone that we don't have atomic bombs, that we don't have anything at all. We're just little branches on some kind of Christmas tree, neither here nor there, not attached to anything. So the Kurchatov Institute was visited by a high-level delegation. And this was told to me by my aunt, my mother's sister, when we came back home to Moscow from Chukotka, by the way. My aunt said that this delegation began expressing their gratitude for being received. This was at the end, when they were about to leave, and they started talking about how good life is here. For your Soviet people, but for the party officials, for those brainless donkeys who only saw a gold bar or a sweet carrot dangling in front of them, while their handler was actually riding on their backs. So, for these brainless bosses, barefoot, yes, it was pure honey for the soul. How so? The foreign delegation, leaving, praises the Soviet system of the Soviet Union. And one man says, yes, they are happy. Your people? Oh, why are they so happy? Tell us more. What do you think? Because they don't know how poor they live. Voila. Your whole life is summed up in this phrase. The happy 70s. You didn't know what real life was. In the 70s, you were given a little taste of sweet carrot, and you started to think that life was luxurious back then, and that today you live badly. But how is it worse than it was then? I don't understand you, people who want to go back to the USSR. Did you want to go back? You got what you wanted. Did you not know that the USSR bombed itself with atomic bombs? Oh, I don't remember the exact number, but it was more than 700. They bombed themselves over 700 times. Did you know about this? Well, why would you need to know? With these profound thoughts that, in particular, truly, there was paradise on earth in the 70s. That childhood was happy. Maybe it was happy because you don't know anything about what really happened in your childhood. Your parents, they provided for you. And maybe for you that was enough. Because of that, you never even thought about how your parents lived. You never heard a kind word from your parents. But you, damn it, still have complaints about your parents. Why is that? They lived in poverty and even greater hunger. But you think you lived wonderfully. Yes, I also had a good life. Yes. In Chukotka, well, I love my childhood. There's nothing you can do about it. It's our childhood. And you have to love your childhood. Never reject your childhood. Never reject it. Because your childhood is always wonderful. Those are your parents, the ones who took care of you. There, in your childhood. And you need to understand that. That's why maybe your childhood seems wonderful to you. But is it really so? Yes, there were some free clubs for these useless, pointless people. I also took advantage of free clubs. I was always first everywhere, always first. I had as many as 20 activities in a single day. Well, during, let's say, a week, yes. Volleyball at one time, acrobatics at another, dance every evening, music 2 or 3 times a week, music school. That was my time. That's how I was. I mean, I would tear myself apart into pieces just to be able to achieve something in this life. I understood that I was living in a den, some kind of snowy one. I liked my snowy land. I love my Chukotka, Shakhtarsky, which was torn apart. In 2005, it was wiped off the face of the earth. My settlement, Shakhtarsky, was wiped off the face of the earth. What am I supposed to be proud of? The fact that I was deprived of my homeland? And you, where is your homeland? But I was deprived of my homeland. My ancestors who owned Crimea were deprived of their homeland and deprived of Crimea. Do you understand? This is my land. Both Crimea and Chukotka. How far apart they are. Yes, these two regions, Crimea and Chukotka. But this is my land. And what are you proud of? The year 2005. It was already time to empty out Chukotka. And Shakhtarsky, it was such a lucky, such a happy settlement. And somehow everything just worked out there. And people loved it. And they didn't want to leave. They brought in bulldozers and started demolishing the houses. And others, they burned down. Because half the settlement, even more, was made of wood. Built back in my parents' time. They built them. Well, and then there were the reinforced concrete buildings which were awful and cold. It was impossible to survive in them. They were very harmful to people. But they kept building them anyway, because aside from wooden ones, nothing else was allowed. Maybe brick too. And this is your happy childhood, the 70s. Don't listen to those fools, those women who sometimes write about how happily they lived, that they never saw any problems. But if you have a very, very small mind, of course you didn't see any problems. Why didn't you see everything happening around you? Because your mind is like this, like a chicken's. That's your mind. And does a chicken see any problems around itself? No. Well, that's it. You were just like a chicken, waiting for your rooster. Who would trample you? And that's all. That's your whole life. The life of animals. Read Orwell's novel 1984 or Animal Farm. That novel was called Both Ways. So read it and look at your life, the one you lived. Yes, it seems to you that life was different. Friends, don't strive for the past. I don't know how good the past will be for you as a place to live. Don't strive for the past. You don't need it. You've already gone through that stage. Why are you trying to crawl back into the swamp? If you want to, well, by all means. That's exactly where you've been led. All these talks about how things were good in the past, in the 70s, are being pushed on you by developers from KGB-type offices. Well, what would you have done? If you were smart and you needed to herd all the livestock back into the yard and lock the doors, what would you do? What would you do? That's exactly what they're doing. Smart developers who see the world as a whole. Well, not all of them, of course, but those who grasp it with their minds, see the world and think about how to herd you back into that livestock yard. They let people live like that for a little while. And that was the 90s and the 2000s, the early years. That was when they let you live. That's when you started to know what it meant to have your own private house, that you could build a private house for yourself. How did they fight it before? You couldn't buy any kind of cooperative apartment. There was nothing. You see, poverty breeds degradation. Degraded people can't understand how to live their lives well, because that's what degradation is. It consumes people. And on this basis, many people become psychopaths. And this psychopathy, it takes root in our society. We will talk a lot more about different topics, but for now, try to look deep inside yourself. See what you mean to yourself. Look within. Think about it. Love yourself and your ancestors. Not some idols in a church, but your own ancestors. Pray to them, wish them well. Wish them health wherever they are now. In the heavens, in the earth, it doesn't matter where. Today is December 25th, the year 2025.